Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report. I'm here today with someone we've talked with before, Jason Van Esso, who's the founder and partner of, first time we saw him was STFU and Party, and now the new Crewfare, or relatively new. And we're going to talk to him about Crewfare and a whole lot more. It's a really unique, different kind of model. I don't know if we call it a travel agency. It sort of is a travel agency, but it certainly is a new wave travel agency, that's for sure. And we're going to find out about all that and more on Insider Travel Report. Now, Jason, first of all, let's talk about you. Can you remind us? We talked about almost 2 years ago, I think, about your first sort of travel service we interviewed you about. It was called, and if I'm screwing this up, tell me, STFU and Party. Can you remind us about what that service was all about and how it worked, and what's the status of it today?
Yeah, absolutely. So STFU is still growing and doing great today. So, it's definitely become more of a side project for me, and I have a team that runs the day-to-day operations. But, the basic premise of why I started STFU and what it grew into was that STFU and Party was really the first travel company designed for college students that provides kind of more luxury upscale in the know experiences. It's not like a mass market 10,000 student type trip, right? It's a lot more curated.
Right.
It's kind of there's very little marketing. That was kind of the whole concept behind STFU and Party, right? Like it's kind of like a secret. And we had a whole play on the word of like safe travel for universities. STFU.
Right. Okay. That's what it is. Yeah.
Obviously, there's other names that people deduce from it as well. But the idea is that it was really like, curated, high end luxury packages for college and young professionals to go on these entertainment style trips, but at a great rate. Because when you go with thousands of people, you could definitely save, a lot of money versus just booking yourself. So, we started doing Bimini, Bahamas as our first destination. And 10 years later, we're still doing it. We've watched the island grow from really being a fisherman's paradise into now there's, a bustling resort, Resorts World Bimini with the Hilton Hotel.
Right.
Virgin just built a beach club there, and Virgin Cruises and all the other cruise lines go there as well now. So, definitely exciting to see the growth there. And then we also do Vegas as a fall break trip in October. And we have other trips that are expanding. And our partner in Vegas is Resorts World Vegas as well.
Right.
This hotel on the Strip. And, we partner up with Zouk Group and Wynn Nightlife to provide, discounted, and VIP packages for nightlife, day life, and, an overall experience beyond just, your hotel package.
Now, how did you get through COVID? I mean, we talked around COVID time.
Yeah.
How did you get through that part, and how is business today?
Yeah, it was really difficult because it was really like uncharted territory, right? Obviously, I'm young to begin with. This STFU was my first company I had started, and when COVID happened, I think, we were in a really lucky position in the sense that we are a very like lean company. We don't have hundreds of employees. We don't have a lot of necessary expenses. So when COVID happened, we were able to really like handle it properly and refund our guests who, had travel plans that didn't happen. We were able to offer future travel credit of like 120% in excess if people wanted to come on a future trip with us. So a lot of our other competitors actually went out of business, sadly during COVID. And, I think that we got lucky in the sense of like, it definitely wasn't good for us, but we came out on the other end. And, we're now probably the longest running travel company in the student travel industry that's still around, because there's been a lot of turnover and, a lot of acquisitions and other things that have happened over the past couple of years. So definitely not an easy thing, especially like it happened while we were actually on a trip in the Bahamas. So
Wow.
We had thousands of students on the island, thousands of students coming or planning to come the next week. And we had to make the difficult decision to cancel one of our weeks, and it's a no-win situation, right? Because you have parents and kids on one end being like, hey, I'm, at the port, I'm ready to come, don't cancel. Then you had parents that, were like, my kid is not coming. You can't throw this trip. So, we made the tough decision, but obviously hindsight's very clear that it was the right decision to be prudent and cancel, but we definitely, it was difficult. So, it's good to be on the other end of it and back up and running with multiple destinations and adding more to the mix.
Yeah. So now things are good. I mean, everybody says travel's booming. And so hopefully you're benefiting from that as well.
Yeah. No, business is great. Travel's booming. I think like overall, we're definitely like back to pre-COVID levels, if not stronger, from STFU. But I think like the biggest challenge, right, was like that 2-year period between 2020 and 2022 was like, even for 2021, we weren't able to do our trips. We wanted to, but, it was figuring out like, as you're well aware, many of these large scale trips, you can't really plan them a month before, right? So you have to have like the foresight, but also like this was such an act of, force majeure that it's like, who knows when is appropriate to start doing these things again, right? So
right.
Now business is definitely better, but definitely 2022 was a tougher year because nobody really knew when you could even go on sale and it would feel right, and you'd get people booking and all that.
Now let's get to the point here, because you just fairly recently launched what you're calling Crewfare.
Yeah.
What is this service? How does it work, and who's the target?
Yeah, very exciting. So, back when I started my first travel agency, STFU, my biggest pain point was always the technology. I had great loyal supporters who wanted to come on these trips. I had great relationships with the hotels and, experiential components to create these packages, but I really had no way to actually sell these packages and manage them in an effective way, right? So the biggest thing that Crewfare is bringing to the table is it's a new wave of travel technology that's enabling large scale event producers, travel tour operators, venues, even anybody who's bringing a lot of people to a specific place with complicated offerings. Crewfare is a white label technology enabling them to now monetize off of travel, packages or even hotel only, et cetera. So we launched actually 2 years ago. Our first event was almost 2 years to the day with Preakness, the horse race in Baltimore, Maryland in 2021. And in 2 short years, we've amassed over 100 large scale events.
Wow.
Using our technology. And so that ranges from large scale music festivals like Ultra Music Festival, Rolling Loud, Governor's Ball, all across all different genres. We're doing country, bands, hip hop, etc. And then we're also doing food festivals like South Beach Wine and Food and New York Wine and Food. We're doing culture and fashion events like Complex Con and, a whole host of other really exciting sports and entertainment events. So there's not really one specific target event, but it's anything where if you have 100,000 people going somewhere, who do you call to manage 75 hotels and provide the technology to do that? And we look to be that provider, for anything massive scale where you really need technology to be doing things on that level.
So it's kind of the opposite of FTU, because that was more curated for more individuals and higher end. This is for everyone, and your target in this case is the actual event organizers, whoever that is. So it could be the organizer, obviously the Preakness. You mentioned these music festivals, so then they can get on the whole travel part of the equation, right?
Yeah, and it's really cool too, because we're not only just hitting the event organizers and their attendees, like we're doing travel for all stakeholders. So that includes the VIPs, the sponsors, the staff actually like building the stages or, doing security or whatever it might be, right? The attendees generally for the event, as they go to buy tickets, they can now buy hotel options and see like the featured discounted hotels in the market. And so that allows us to offer a curated range within each of those groups from 2-star to 5-star, right? And different, not only different budgets, but different locations where some hotels might be right next to the event. Some may be at the airport, some may be on the beach. It just depends on kind of who the target audience is. And every event is different because some events are drawing, a more affluent, older demographic. Some are drawing a younger demographic who's going to want more like 4 to a room and double beds, et cetera. So we see a little bit of everything, but the whole idea is that we're facilitating based on curated needs. So if you have a food festival or you have a a film festival, we're going to handle that a little bit more curated than if you have a large scale music event that needs, more quantity and kind of cheaper rooms. It just depends.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because originally I looked at it and I thought it was really geared to more summer music festivals, but you're telling me it's beyond that. It's a sporting events like the Preakness, it's food festivals and all that kind of thing. In fact, I went on the website and I see a lot of music festivals that I'm so old that I have no idea what these festivals are. It's I mean, maybe I should, but there's some I do know. You mentioned a few that I do actually know, so I feel a little better now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I think you're seeing a lot of summer music festivals just because that's what's upcoming. Obviously, summer's festival season. So we definitely have a lot of in the music space. And that's really where a lot of my connections and my partners' connections lied when we started this. But, we're doing a tremendous amount of non-music events and growing rapidly into these other segments that are just as exciting, right? Obviously, music festivals are a great business, but we're just as excited about corporate and convention type business as we are about the music business.
So this would be something where we were talking earlier, and I just went to New Orleans Jazz Fest, and so you would go to the organizers of Jazz Fest and say, "Look, we can give you a private label site to allow travel booking for all the people coming in," right?
Exactly, and we'll handle everything from A to Z, and they'll monetize on the travel that we produce. So it's a no risk situation to the event. We handle all the headaches. And then, they're winning because they're also able to give a better booking experience and hopefully increase conversion from their out of town attendees by offering discounted rates. And we have a whole host of really exciting technologies. Like we have multi-language, multi-currency. So it's an international product. We have flexible payment options like pay over time. So you can put down like $99 today for an event on your travel piece of the event, in a year from now you could split it with your friends. So if you had 4 of you guys to a room, you could split the cost of that evenly and then do the payment plan. So there's a lot of really cool innovations that we've rolled out, manage reservations, obviously 24/7 customer support, et cetera, that, allow these organizers to sleep at night knowing that their guests are being helped in a white glove way. Because obviously we all know travel is very high stakes. Sure. Can't really mess it up if your room's not right, or your room's not, exactly what you thought you're getting. If there's an issue, right? So we've been able to execute at a really high level, and we're really excited about the scale that we're doing it at in a very short amount of time, and the partners that we're going to be announcing for 2024 and beyond are really exciting.
Well, I'm very curious to see who you're going to get there, because maybe there's some actually I will know and want to go to. So we'll see what happens. But essentially, it's a private label travel booking platform for all these festivals and events that you can work with those organizers. And in fact, I saw that you were even looking for a traveling TikToker who could share their experiences. Did you ever find that one?
Yeah, right now we're interviewing and we're going through the applications. I mean, we put it out there and we thought we'd only get a couple or maybe 100 or something.
Oh, I'm not surprised you got
thousands of applications. I mean, it's crazy, but yeah, I mean, we're definitely approaching the travel industry from a younger, different mentality, right? So part of this whole TikTok trend and why we're doing it is that we really believe in the content and about the experiential marketing around these events, right? Like a trip to these events is more than just the event itself. It's more than just the hotel itself. It's about showing the entire experience. So, we're looking for creative, like-minded people that are excited about travel, are excited about entertainment events. And, we're kind of at that intersection of all those things and experience, right? And able to portray that and, hopefully get awareness to our brand out there, as we're definitely growing rapidly, but we're still new to the industry. So, we're excited to kind of get the word out more through, the content that they'll create.
No, that's great. And you didn't wait for me. I have a heck of a lot of content from Jazz Fest. I could have been an entry for this one.
Oh, we're ready.
Okay. A little bit different from the rest of it. I'm not really a TikToker. I am on there, but I barely post. But I am on Instagram, on Facebook, and Twitter. Now, so essentially, obviously you targeted this market I think you say in your website that, the U.S. concerts and events industry is kind of valued at about roughly $28 billion, not an insignificant amount. So that's why you really went after, the concert promoters and musicians and hotels, right? That's why you went after the segment, right?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, of course, like we want to be in an industry that has money, but I mean, beyond the money, right? Like I'm excited about solving problems, about building technology. And this is a huge need, right? Because if you've been in the events or concert or entertainment industry, there's so much that goes into producing a great experience and a great event, that to then simultaneously be trying to be a travel agent and manage travel around these events. Most events just don't do it at all.
No, they don't. They don't.
And then the events that have tried, most of them just didn't have the bandwidth, right? And it was either a failure or, it didn't go off as great as they had hoped. So, the idea is really just to be a complementary thing where it's like, this is travel, something that comes naturally with every large scale event, whether they want to deal with it or not. Mm-hmm. They're going to have their invited guests asking them, hey, where should I stay? Do you have a discounted rate somewhere? They're going to have their guests that are booking, opening up 12 tabs when they go to buy a ticket or make a reservation, being like, where do I stay? Where is it located in relation to the event? What's featured? What should I be paying? Like, there's so many questions that people have, right? So to be able to cut away the research and solve these problems, I think is the most exciting thing, because the money will follow. And, travel is such a big business, events is such a big business that, especially looking at it on a global level, like even if we were to just do all of the global food festivals, right? I mean, there's so much there that we would be busy for the next decade doing that. So there's definitely a lot here, right? And we're being ambitious and trying to target everything, but I think we're still trying to retain quality, and we're not just taking any event that approaches us. We really care about finding like legitimate events, iconic events that people want to go to, that already have this type of demand coming to them. They just haven't found the right partner to handle the travel side of things.
Yeah. Now, you just mentioned it looks you're hoping to get more events and venues and festivals to sign on. Is that the way you're going to grow Crewfare?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's just a whole host of new technology that we're going to roll out relating to packages. That's our newest product called Passport. And so essentially it will allow companies like STFU to now use our technology to now sell those packages. So that was originally like the real reason why I was thinking of travel tech needed to be, reinvented. But we started off with an event focused product, but now it's more of a technology focused product where we have multiple technology products where you can, if you're somebody managing 1,000 room blocks, I can now send you a link for here, James, you can book your 10 security rooms at this hotel. It could be 5 kings, 5 double queens. The event is going to pay for them. You can now input all your bookings and manage them yourself like you would on, a hotel app. And then now everything's centralized in one place for all my sub blocks and all the people attending my event. So it kind of takes all these events off Google Sheets and Excel to keep track of their internal travel, which is a huge pain point, not just their attendee and invited guest travel. And then, the packages, and there's just infinite possibilities as far as other areas. When you're talking about group travel, there's a lot of solutions out there if you want to go away with a significant other or with a friend, but there's not so many solutions out there if you wanted to go away with 100 people and plan that yourself, or 1,000 people. It's very, not to say that you have to use a travel agent. I think it's good that you have to use a travel agent for their expertise and their know-how, but even the travel agents themselves and the biggest tour operators, they're all on bootleg software that really is not up to date for the needs of a 21st century travel company. So, that's really what we're aiming to do.
No, that's great. And you just answered my other question about what the synergies are between Crewfare and STFU. So, that's what you sort of came out of STFU, and now you may go back and use more of that technology for your first company there.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're working with other college and student travel companies as well, like Student Cities working with us and some other major players. And I think that's what's exciting, right? Is that instead of it being a competitive environment, even amongst an industry, by being on the same software, we could actually complement each other, right? Like now Student City can sell into my trips. I could sell into their trips. We can allow reps from each of our companies to go on more experiences. So, in the end, I think like the ability to manage inventory and reservations under a centralized platform that's really built to what the exact specifications of your particular program are is really the value proposition. And, being able to now integrate that and do more than just, here's my product and now I have a reservation that I need to manually manage.
Now, where can our viewers go to learn more about your pretty unique model there? Both STFU was a unique model, is a unique model, and then this Crewfare.
Yeah, I mean, so definitely on crewfare.com, there's a lot of information. You can see all of our events listed. I think there's about 50 right now, but there's always new events being uploaded. And, we're always renewing existing business and getting those up. And it kind of normally goes in conjunction with when the event goes on sale or announces their dates or tickets or whatever it is. So there's always new things going on. But I think, for viewers, it's really exciting because now this is a place where you can actually discover cool travel experiences and see, like, if you're interested in X type of trip, here's kind of like an all-in-one experience that you can book in one place to discover them. And then hopefully you'll just be seeing more of us through partners as well. Like, we're interested in that we integrate directly with our event partners on their website, their ticketing link, their social media. So, if there's any events that you're going to, James, or your viewers are going to, that hopefully they'll start seeing Crewfare more prevalently throughout those events worldwide.
Fantastic. Well, Jason, again, very innovative, very new wave of looking at this situation. I know, having just booked Jazz Fest and probably done it on my own, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But to get a ticket, to get a hotel room, to get airfare and all that, I had to work through all these different venues, and this would be a one-stop shop, I guess, if you're talking about that, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the goal is that maybe you would have gotten lost along the process and just been like, I'll go next year, I'm too to deal with this, right? So the goal is really just to make sure that you capture, if you're that event, that you're capturing everybody who's interested in making it as easy as possible.
Well, Jason, I want to thank you for spending some time again. And hopefully we'll get in touch soon and find out about how this is moving forward. And maybe I'll try to use it one of these days when I'm going to one of the music festivals that maybe I even know. So that's the issue. There's a lot on there that I'm like, what? And maybe I look deeper, I'll know, but
send me a list of the events that you want to go to and we'll reach out.
Okay. That sounds great. Again, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.